Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to a new fight study. I was around in, and then I realized I didn't hit record, so here it is. This is John Conteh. This fight was recommended to me by someone on YouTube. Forgot your name, so I'm sorry about that. But they want to see John Conteh fight study versus Les Stevens. Stevens, yep. Uh, John Conteh, like Virgil Hill, like Marco Antonio Barrera, like who else? Like a lot of fighters that Big Cat Williams, Cleveland Williams, a lot of fighters that were lead hand dominant. He of course threw his lead hand a lot, more than the right hand, although he does throw a couple right hands in this fight that we're gonna see later. So today, I already watched this fight, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. So what I'm really focused on this fight is I'm going to talk about his footwork, his head movement a little bit, his jab, his right hand, and just all of that type of stuff, and what makes a lead hand dominant fighter the way they are. A lot of lead hand dominant fighters just don't know how to throw the right hand, or they're naturally left-handed, so their power hand is in the lead, so they don't really need to use the backhand that much. So yeah. Now, a couple things about the jab of John Conteh right away is it doesn't land straight on the chin. He doesn't shoot it straight shoulder level. He throws it at an upwards angle. You'll see in this fight, it's going to keep hitting the forehead of his opponent, Les Stevens, right there, and pops his head back. The other thing is he comes up on his toes when he jabs, so his whole body kind of follows the jab. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. Now, someone sent me a message on Instagram the other day saying that back in the day, fighters, there was a lot of different styles of fighting at the top level. He's like, today, because a lot of fighters see each other on Instagram and YouTube or whatever, styles become very similar, and I find that kind of true. Back in the day, you just came up with what you came up with. Although there's a lot of cross-pollination, I think that's a nice word, in boxing because people traveled, but I think just from videos and little kids watching, I think there's a lot more different styles back in the day than now. But you can't just put that on social media either. It's a whole bunch of different things. This is one of the rare right hands that Conteh throws. Now, him and Les Stevens did spar in the amateurs, and this is in the pro, and they sparred in the pros before this fight, so they're not hateful of each other, I guess. Now, a couple things about his stance, John Conteh, is his left foot or his right foot, he puts it's really narrow. So his right foot, usually with fighters, like look at Les Stevens, his right foot is out here. You could draw a line right here. His left foot is out here. You see that width. With John Conteh, he puts his right foot right behind his left foot. This could be the problem with throwing the right hand. A lot of fighters, and I had this problem a lot, was I would stand narrow, so there's no support for my right hand to be thrown. Or it's because he's naturally left-handed and he put his left hand in the front, so he naturally has more control over his left hand rather than the right hand. But something with a lot of fighters, that if you have trouble throwing the right hand, usually it's because you don't have any balance here, right? So the left foot is carrying the left side of the body, the left shoulder, it's carrying your punches. But with the right foot, if it's behind you, you have nothing here. You can't really see it. Let me see. You don't really have anything supporting. So it looks like it's supporting, but not really. You would want this right foot to be out here, kind of, to really support that right shoulder, so you could really throw it and not feel weak or off balance. Some fighters that do this, and we'll see John Conteh do this, is they step forward with the right foot when they throw it to gain balance, right? With the right hand, they step forward with the right foot to gain balance. We'll see him do that too. But yeah. Sorry guys, a lot of talking in the beginning, then I'll let it play a little bit more. Now, another thing that John Conteh does a lot in this fight is he makes these little slips to the left. Now, there's a couple reasons why he's slipping to the left or to the inside. First of all, I think he's trying to load up his left leg to come up with this long jab, uppercut type thing, or his left hook, or just his jab. So he doesn't pop his jab like someone would pop their jab where it's just the shoulder working. He puts his whole body behind it. So I can't say it's wrong, but I wouldn't like doing it because you're putting a lot of commitment behind the jab, which I don't think is too good. I think you should do it sometimes, but usually you should just let the shoulder pop. But he uses it more as a power punch. So, but when he does that little slip, watch his right foot. See how he goes behind his left foot? See, it's right here right now. It's going to go behind his right foot or behind his lead foot. And now he's really off balance, but he doesn't really seem to get caught when he's off balance in this fight. So, but that's another thing. If I was his opponent, that's what I would be watching if I was studying his film and I was training someone to fight him. Watch his right foot when he does that slip. Right now, if he gets caught with a left hook right here in this position, if he gets caught with a well-timed left hook, he has zero balance to take that shot. Or if he gets caught with like a right hook, he has zero balance for this shot, right? So usually you want this right foot to be out here, so you have balance on both feet. But John Conteh, when he slips to the left, he does a little dance step with his right foot. And again, I can't say it's wrong because it works for him, but you got to keep in mind what you're doing. You got to know how you look when you're doing certain moves. There it is again. And it's way on his toes, so he doesn't even have it planted. So he's really off balance in these moments, but Les Stevens doesn't seem to take advantage. This is something I only picked up because I'm watching this in slow motion. So if this fight was going on like this and you're his opponent, it'd be hard to catch because you can't really see it unless you're watching his feet. But that would be something maybe the corner could tell Les Stevens. Now, Conteh has a really piston-like jab. Like I said, it comes out strong. He puts a lot of body behind that jab. It's not a flicking jab. And it comes up on an upwards trajectory, angle, whatever you want to call it. He doubles it up a lot. The other thing he does, I'm sorry guys, I'm a left-handed, I was going to say freak, but I'm a left-handed guy, so I love the left hand, so I could talk about this for days. The other thing he does really good is he throws the first jab a half jab to get a reaction out of his opponent, most likely, and then he throws his actual jab. You'll see it right here, and we'll see it later on in the fight. See, look, he throws like a half jab, and then he comes up with the real deal right after, and he doubled it up, actually. See, there you go again. Watch his right foot and watch his head movement. 1, 2, 3. Very off balance, very awkward, but like I said, you can't say this is the wrong style because it's what made him a champion. So, can't really talk bad about it, but it's just a balance issue for me. Nice double jab right there by him. Now, this fight was at heavyweight. Oh, I got to talk about these two punches. So this is why he does that little slip to the left a lot. It's to load up his left hook, his left jab. The other thing he does is he throws like this uppercut. It's like an upwards jab. It's like an uppercut slash jab. So if you see where he carries his jab hand, it's below his shoulder. So every jab he throws comes up. He doesn't really hold his jab hand here and goes like this. He throws it up. So watch, he's going to slip on the inside, what he's been doing. Boom. It's like an uppercut slash jab, and it straightens out at the end, but it comes up like an uppercut. And then he straightens it out. He's going to do it again. This one a little bit better, I think. Boom. And you could see why he's shifting his weight or slipping to the left. Watch his hips. He's putting weight. Now his weight is on his left hip or his left leg, and he's going to turn all that weight into that shot. Boom. Roger Mayweather used to do something very similar to this. Not exactly, but pretty similar. Roger Mayweather, the uncle of Floyd Mayweather Jr., brother of Senior. There's one of those rare right hands to the rare right hands that he threw. Now you see the double jab again. Boom, boom. It's like a feeding jab. There's a lot of power behind it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I know that sounds bad in the video. There's that left hook. So he did the same move. Right here, he's going to load it up. He's going to do it loaded up on the left leg, and this time he comes back with the left hook instead of that long uppercut jab type thing. He does move his head to the right also, so he doesn't only move his head. So see how he dips down? So he doesn't only do this, right? He does slip to the right here, and he throws his jab from there also. So he has a couple different types of jabs that he throws. Nice punches from Les Stevens. There goes that double pumping jab again. And again, watch his right foot. It's here, and then it's going to go back behind his left foot. Boom. The other thing he does is he gets on his toes when he throws his jab. I'm going to talk about this when I see a better example of it. Just going to take a sip of water. Throat's kind of dry. Another thing he does a couple times in this fight is he does this little hop to the left. Boom. Lines it up for the right hand. Just some things that he does often. One of them. But I like how active he is with his upper body, his head movement. There's a nice left hook. He's going to go to the body again, right under the heart. Oh, the heart's not over there. That's the liver. What am I talking about? But I like the way he feints and moves his head left and right. Very active with the upper body. See how awkward it is for him to throw that right hand because there's no support under that right shoulder. There's that little hop on the inside if you didn't catch it. And that's it for round one. There's that jab again. So you see how he throws two jabs. The first jab, he only throws it where he knows it's going to get caught. So he isn't trying to land the first jab. Now this could go back to what we talked about in our lesson last week, or a couple days ago actually. Sorry, wait, I gotta take a sip of water. Where you throw the first jab or the first punch, a half punch, and then you throw the real punch to get the second one to really land. So here we're going to see him do this. See, he knows it's going to get caught. He throws it almost to the hands of his opponent so he catches it, right? And then he brings it back, and then he really shoots it forward. Now let's see if he's using that jab to load up his feet or why he's doing this, because he did this more than 10 times that I remember. Okay, so this is something that, not Willie Pep, Sweet Pea, forgot his name. How can I forget? Pernell Whitaker. He did this actually too, but instead of this type of jab, he used a flicking backhand jab in his southpaw stance. So the first jab, watch, it's a half jab, and watch his right foot. So watch the jab hand and watch the right foot. Pernell Whitaker did this also with his double jab, but he did a flicking jab like I said. So he pops the first one, watch his right foot, it's going to come in. Okay, now his back foot is in. Now it's loaded up and he's ready to shoot off of it to get power into his second jab. And now he's really going to step into his second jab that's going to come up on an upwards trajectory and snap back the head of Stevens. Now one of the reasons I think he gets on his toes when he jabs is because he's putting so there's two types of jabs. Well, there's a bunch, but there's two types that I'm going to talk about. There's a jab where it's just the shoulder that moves. Nothing else moves in the body. You could move your feet, but none of this weight transfer, none of this happens. just the jab comes out. I'm a fan of that one mostly, and then at times to do this one. Now with Conteh, because he's so left-hand dominant, his jabs are very powerful, so he's going to put a lot of body behind it where he follows his jab. Okay, you have people that follow their punches, so when they punch, their whole body follows that punch to put power into it. The jab, I don't think you should do that all the time. I don't think you need power in the jab, but to each their own. I can't say it's wrong or right. And then he puts his whole body, so he comes up off his toes because his whole body's following that jab, right? There it is again, that slip to the left. See where his right foot is, right? Still very narrow, but not as narrow as it's about to be. And like I said, if I was maybe the trainer of Stevens, I would maybe in the corner, or if I'm watching tape of Conteh, this is something that I would look for. So if he gets caught with a left hook at this point, his right hand's pretty low, or even a right hand, he has zero balance on either side. He only has balance when you're standing like this, you only have balance going forward and backwards, but you have zero balance on the side. So if you push him to this side or that side, nothing there to catch him. See, it's empty here, it's empty here. Les Stevens, a little bit narrow, but you could still see his right foot is there. He has a little bit more balance. But still, both fighters are pretty off balance. But Les Stevens, I would say a little bit more. There it is again. Nice hook. Sorry guys, I got a bad cough today, so a lot of water drinking. There's one of those right hands. Right hand to the chest, sternum. Nice shot to the body right there. He throws this shot a couple times, so off the slip again to the left. So far we saw him come up with a jab, come up with the uppercut type looking punch, come up with a left hook. This time he's going to come back with a body shot right there. A left uppercut to the body, I would call that shot, because it's a left uppercut, but you're just throwing it to the body. So there's another example. Like I said, he doesn't only slip to the outside, he slips to the inside and throws punches from there too. So you're going to see him slip to the inside right here. Slip and jab, basically jab the body, but his head's on this side now. So he does do this too. He doesn't only throw his left hand when he slips after slipping to the outside. Nice uppercut by Stevens. He kind of reminds me of Roger Mayweather a little bit. Roger Mayweather kind of fought, not in this exact style, but very similar tendencies to put their weight on the left foot and slip to the left and come back with the left hand. There's a right hand from him. There's that double jab again, pumping jab. He just feeds it to you, just powerful, boom, boom. Not a flick, heavy-handed jab. And that's what's beautiful about the jab. You could throw it in so many different ways. You just got to know how to throw it and what way to throw it to get the most out of it in what situation, basically. See, when he throws that little double jab, or not little, it's powerful. On the inside, he leans over to his right, and he gets boom. Oh, I missed the first one. See, his head's on the right side. Boom, boom. Puts his head off center, and he just pumps that jab into the face of his opponent. Nice right hand by Stevens. That's it for round 2. See, he's way on his toes when he jabs. Now, this could be for a longer reach, but I don't think so, because he can reach his opponent when he's leaning on to the right without coming up on his feet. What I think it is mostly is because he's putting a lot of power into his jab. So you see his hips. He moves his hips like as if he's throwing a right hand. So you know when you throw a right hand, you got to twist your hips and twist your shoulders to throw the right hand. He does that, but with the left hand, and that's how you get power in your jab. If you watch Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman, Ali throws a 2-1 more than the 1-2, a lead right then a jab a couple times, and that's how you get power in your jab also. But you see, that left foot, the left leg right now is loaded up, and he's going to twist his hips this way. And see, boom, boom. There's the hip twist right there. And that's the transfer of power into the jab. So he throws it like a right hand. There's another jab right there. Double jab right there, triple jab. He does this a couple times where he triples and quadruples it up. 1, 2, 3. That one, Les Stevens catches on the gloves, the last one. Nice body shot. That's the body shot we're talking about. So off the slip to the left, we've seen him throw this already, but he's going to come back with the body shot, the left uppercut to the body, right on the liver, right under the chest, and then he's going to go with the left hook to the head. Double jab again. But I really like how even when he's standing still, he's still moving his head. There's another double jab. This is a type of jab that really pains your opponent. It's not a flicking one, like I said, but I would like to see. I like when fighters throw both types of jabs in the same fight, because if you just throw the powerful jab, it's good, but you don't get the same use from it as if you threw a flicking jab. And a flicking jab is good, but you don't get the same use of it as if you threw a power jab. So I think switching up your jab in the fight is the best type of way to get most out of your jab or your left hand. There he throws the 2-1 where he throws the right hand. So when you throw the right hand, your weight's on the left leg now. And then when you come back, boom, the power is in your jab now because your weight's on the left side. So instead of slipping to the left like right there, by throwing a right hand and putting weight on your left leg, you get the same effect. There he is doing that same type of step while he slips to the left. Boom. Oh, he already did it the one before. Oh, there he goes again. Jabbing the body. Not a lot of right hands. So maybe he threw like what, 3, 4 right hands so far, maybe at most 5. He threw maybe 60 jab or 60 left hands, I would say. Actually, I don't know about 60, maybe. Nice little triple right there. He looks very strong though, like Les Stevens isn't able to push him around in this fight. Les Stevens looks considerably bigger than him. And like I said, this is a heavyweight fight. There he goes, feeding that double jab again. Misses with that right hand, comes back with the left hand. There's that little slip to the left. See, he gets caught actually with it right there. Let's see. He gets caught with a jab though. If it was a left hook, I think it would have done a lot more damage. Right there, see, he's really off balance. Where actually, watch his foot. He gets caught after he does the move. So not while he's off balance, he gets caught. Or actually, like while he's putting his foot back on the right side, but still he gets caught off balance. Double jab right there also. Slipping to the left, trying to find an entryway to Les Stevens. There goes that pumping left hand again. There goes that body shot again. So if you think variety with the left hand, this is what left-handed dominant lead hand fighters are really good at. Variety with the left hand. Where the lead hand, he throws the body shot there. We see him through the long uppercut jab. We saw him throw the jab, the hook, So 1, 2, 3, 4 different punches with just one hand and just off the slip to the left. That was round 3. Now we are going into round 4. There it is again, that double jab. And like I said, this is like what Pernell Whitaker did. Just imagine, instead of a power jab, a backhand flicking jab, like a Larry Holmes type jab too. So he throws the first one, it's a half jab, but he brings the back foot up with it, right? So watch the back foot, watch. So he jabs, as he jabs, his right foot is coming up, his back foot, and now he could really push off of it because he brought it in close, and now he could really step in with the jab. So someone asked me how to enter or what to throw as I'm entering. This is a really, really good one. I've seen a lot of fighters do it, most notably Pernell Whitaker, and here John Conteh. I hope that's how you say his last name. Nice jab right there. Triple jab right there. He moves to his left a lot, of course, because all his power is on the left side. I haven't seen him move to the right too much. Gets caught with a jab there, but lands his own jab and then comes back with the left hook. Holds on right there. Closes the distance. But doesn't really let Les Stevens get close because of that jab, so. Nice. Nice left uppercut, left hook from Stevens. Now Stevens comes in for the hug, pushes him off of him. Like I said, John Conteh looks strong. He doesn't look like he's easily pushed around. Ties up Stevens pretty good in this fight also. Those are great right hands, or his best. And a lot of fighters that struggle to land the right hand, they throw their best right hands when their opponent is closing the distance for them. So Les Stevens is stepping in, and he closed the distance for the right hand to land. Here he looks like Justin Bieber. But he closes the distance, and that's when I can throw my right hand the best, when someone closes the distance for me, instead of me reaching out with the right hand to get them. Nice hook also. There's another triple. Nice right hand by Stevens. Let's see right here if he gets caught when he's doing that slip to the left. So you see how quickly his knees buckled just from a jab? Because look at his stance. No balance. But he has a pretty good chin, so he doesn't really fall down, but he is knocked off balance with a jab. I've seen a lot of fighters fall, not a lot, I keep saying a lot. I see some fighters in some fights get knocked down with a jab because their right foot isn't on the ground when they get hit. Or even knockouts or knockdowns happen most of the time because someone is off balance. And when you're really off balance, a jab is just enough to knock you down or knock you off balance. So balance is the key of boxing. You got to be balanced. You do have to take risks sometimes, which leaves you off balance, but most of the time you got to be balanced. That was a nice one too. I think one of his best so far. I say so far because he's going to land some good right hands later. But I see when he could throw his right hand when his weight was on the right side, of course. Pops that jab right between the chest, kind of on the shoulder, and he's right on the dot. That was his best right hand, I think, so far. Touching, moving. Doesn't really move backwards, though. He either moves in or to the side, which I like. He's not really giving up ground. See, he misses wildly with that right hand when Les Stevens was moving back. Because he has trouble reaching out with the right hand. There's that left uppercut. There's that double jab. So he does the same basic things over and over, but he does them pretty well. Nice double jab right there. Nice. Again, but misses that one. And that's it for round 4. After the 5th round, I'm going to stop because this fight was a 10-rounder. So I want to keep the second 5 rounds. For the second, for part 2 of this study. So this will be our final round for today, round number 5. There he goes in with a triple jab right away. And you see, this is what I also talk about in the lesson. He threw 2 half jabs. So you go 1, 2, bang, just to land that last powerful one. So don't always try to land your first jab or your first punch. You got to throw a couple half ones sometimes to get that last one to land. There goes a nice triple in there. There goes a nice double. He's really working this round. Les Stevens, I think, has a good 6th and 7th round. Maybe, I think, if I remember correctly. Or 7 and 8. And then John Conteh comes back in the end and really closes the show pretty strong. Nice little left over there, right on the chin. Where he's angling it off, kind of pivoting. And you could see the strength in him, like he has Les Stevens on the ropes right now. It's caught with the right hand right there because he does move to the left a lot. There, as soon as I said that, he moves to the right. So he's not a bulletproof fighter, so he does have a lot of holes in his balance and his movement or his choice of movement. But he is a pretty difficult opponent because he's tough, he's strong, he is powerful, and he is pretty smart. But he does do some things that leaves him open that if a smarter fighter could see, they could take advantage of. See, he's off balance right there. That was his best mix-up right there throughout the whole fight yet. There goes that right hand. And this is what I said earlier when people struggle with throwing the right hand. This is what they sometimes do, is they step forward with it to gain balance after throwing it. Good thing he didn't get caught right there. Nice double jab again. And now instead of throwing the jab after the fake jab or the first half one, half, boom. So that's one of my favorite shots. Fake jab followed by a left hook. There he goes back to the body again. Really mixing it up in this round. Nice right hand. But you could see how powerful his jab is, or how good it is, because Les Stevens can't just walk in. He's really stopping him from moving in just with his jab. So it is possible to do that against a bigger opponent. When I say possible, I mean it's not going to work every time, but it is possible. Okay, guys, so that's part 1 of John Conteh film study. We talked about his feet, his head movement, his choice of punches, his balance, how strong he is. And yeah, that's kind of what I want to touch on today. Thank you for who told me to study John Conteh. I really like his style. I haven't watched him in a long time. But yeah, I'll see you guys for part 2. Next video dropping is going to be Wednesday. Our next lesson, lesson number 25. Well, I'm dropping a lesson every week. So, well, it's been 25 weeks. Almost half a year, 6 months. Okay, guys, so I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.